That phrase, bad beats, I'm so sick of that phrase. And it's gained in popularity because of that ridiculous feature on ESPN, which really has no application when it comes to gambling, because the only thing that we should be concerned about gambling is the here and now, how it affects today's games, tomorrow's games. Telling me how you lost the game yesterday according to a bad beat, oh, it makes interesting TV, interesting fodder in newspaper columns, internet columns, but really? Does it mean anything? No, absolutely nothing. But what have I been telling you for the past 15 years? And it's something that I truly believe in. That the glass is more often half full than it is half empty. I don't want to hear about bad beats. Yeah, sometimes the breaks go against you. But I am a firm believer, and I've seen it play out over the years, that over the course of the season, over the course of the year, more often than not, you're going to have more positive breaks go in your direction than those bad beats. Now, when you're suffering one of those crushing, just heartbreaking, back-breaking losses, well, you don't want to hear me preaching those positive vibes, and I understand it. No sermonizing. But I've been on both sides of that coin. I mean, last Sunday I had the Eagles up 17-3 at Tennessee. I had bought down the half point from 3 to 2.5. Eagles forced into overtime. I thought I was going to win that game. They take the 3-point lead, and then Tennessee starts driving. And it looks like Philadelphia is going to hold. And on the fourth down play, Philadelphia gets flagged for pass interference, giving Tennessee new life, and Tennessee goes on to win the damn game. So I mutter my favorite 7 or 8 obscenities, maybe more. It depends. And I lose the game, and what are you going to do? Listen, you can't let yesterday affect today either when it comes to gambling, because you're going to miss the next Monday making opportunity right there in front of you. But last night, I had a $15 best bet, my midnight special game, on Hawaii against Wyoming at home. Now, when I released that play at 9 o'clock Eastern Time in the morning yesterday, Hawaii was a 2.5 point favorite, and I was happy with that price against Wyoming. Little did I know how that game would actually turn out. Because it was interesting in reading the Hawaii Star Advertiser recap of that game, which started off with this quote. It was known for most of the week that University of Hawaii starting quarterback Colt McDonald would likely sit this one out due to a knee injury. That's the same Colt McDonald who was averaging 350 yards passing a game and had 22 touchdown passes, or 24 touchdowns versus just 2 interceptions on the season. My thought was, really? Let me tell you something. It wasn't known in Las Vegas. It wasn't known at all the sources where I had researched the game. And listen, I'm a guy who spent 6 years in the 90s gathering the injuries for all the casinos and all the sports books in the world. I was the provider of all the injuries for all the major sports, pro and college. There ain't nobody that knows about gathering injuries like me. I couldn't find a damn thing about this guy. I knew he missed a couple of practices, but had returned later in the week. But yesterday, the reality was this, that in the first warm-up prior to the game, he participated. In the second warm-up, he didn't. And minutes before kickoff, they announced that a freshman was going to start in his place. Well, listen, what happened with that game was Hawaii went from a 2.5 point favorite down to a 3.5 point underdog as the game eventually went to kickoff. Again, midnight Eastern time kickoff. So what happens? Hawaii last night plays its best defensive game of the season. A team that gives up like 40 points before, you sit down in your seats. And that freshman, who really didn't play well, throws the game-winning touchdown pass with 1:36 to go. And suddenly, Hawaii wins the damn game outright for me. Unexpected? Absolutely. But the breaks even out. I shouldn't have lost the Eagles game. I shouldn't have won the Hawaii game. But I did. And that's the beauty of gambling. You win sometimes because of sheer luck. Unexpected wins. And we take them and we're grateful because the gambling gods decided to smile on me last night. So that puts me in a very nice position today. And trust me, I'm not about to complain either about being in that position, because a win is a win, a loss is a loss. There is no in between. And when you go to the cashier's window to cash that winning ticket, they don't discount the winner because of the fashion in which you won. So today that means for me, I'm going with top-rated 15-dime winner number 19 out of 26 on Los Angeles and Seattle. It's my NFC West line error lock of the year as I go for winning day number 62 out of 96. And just like yesterday, you get it for half price off by using coupon code half, H-A-L-F. Props also going out to Chris Jordan, who yesterday hit his top-rated 1,000-star college football winner, number 6 out of 8 this season, as he cashed in with Texas San Antonio on the money line. Getting the easy win over Rice today, top-rated 1,000-star AFC Game of the Year on the Titans and the Bills. You know, Chris has made $1 bettors in the NFL, a little over $19,000 since the 2015 season. He's made $1 bettors in college football, a little over $18,500 since the 2015 season. And he's made $1 bettors in all sports with his top-rated 1,000-star plays, $168,830 some dollars in all sports since the 2006 season. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code Chris. All your other discount codes and promos are over on the homepage. Let's get to your complimentary plays here for this Sunday card. I'll tell you what, it's a difficult card. So, you know, often I give you complimentary plays where these are like the best of the worst. And what I'm talking about is, you know, I handicap the card, I narrow down the card, I give them my best bet, and these are the other selections where these are games that I thought about betting, but I didn't after I narrowed down the card. Other days, there are games that I find fascinating on the card, and I've looked at them from every side, and I want to talk about the games to you, as if we're sitting here at the bar and we're having an open discussion. Of course, this is a one-sided forum. And one of those games I think is just absolutely most interesting on the card today is naturally going to be the Kansas City-Jacksonville game, because here you have the highest scoring offense in the league in Kansas City against the highest scoring, or the best and stingiest defense in the league in Jacksonville. And the question I have for you in this game is this: which Jacksonville team is going to show up today? The Jacksonville team that took care of business against New England 3 weeks ago? The Jacksonville team that dispatched the Jets easily last week? Or the Jacksonville team that lost outright 9-6 to a Tennessee team that started its backup quarterback a couple of weeks ago? You tell me which Jacksonville team is going to show up. The Jacksonville team that in its first and only other road game this season barely got by a bad New York Giants team in week number 1? Is that the Jacksonville team that's going to show up today? Yeah, you tell me. Riddle me this, as I used to say on the Batman TV series 100 years ago. Riddle me this. Truly, tell me. The one thing I do know is this: Kansas City can score points. We saw that. We saw Kansas City muddle its way through 3 quarters at Denver on Monday night. And then we saw Patrick Mahomes just simply come alive and take apart that Denver defense in the 4th quarter. But Kansas City can't play any defense. I mean, the Chiefs are just awful defensively. They were bad defensively last year. They're awful defensively this year. They've got no pass rush. They can't stop anybody. And, I mean, they don't force any turnovers. They have 1 turnover in 4 games. 1 turnover in 4 games. But they've got great offensive line protection. They've only allowed 5 sacks through 4 games. Patrick Mahomes, 65% completions, 14 touchdowns, averaging 300 yards a game. Kareem Hunt, who led the NFL in rushing last year with over 1,300 yards, finally got the ground game going with 121 yards, a season high on 19 carries Monday night at Denver. But that Kansas City defense, 25th in scoring defense, giving up almost 29 points a game. Total defense, last in the league, 451 yards a game giving up. But here's the irony. For as bad as Kansas City plays defensively, they've only given up 23.8% conversions on 3rd down. So you can look at it 2 ways. They're holding opponents at a great clip on 3rd down, or everybody doesn't even need to get the 3rd down because they're scoring at will on 1st down and 2nd down. Maybe that's the reality of those numbers when they're so skewed, right? You got a Jacksonville team that's on a 7-2 roll. ATS is a dog. But I keep going back to the fact they lost 9-6 at home to Tennessee. Leonard Fournette's not going to play today. Is Blake Bortles going to be the Blake Bortles who struggled for any type of consistency against Tennessee and that strong Tennessee defense, or the guy who shredded a bad New England defense, a guy who shredded a bad New York Jets defense? Interesting game. I just can't go against Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City right now. I just can't. I got to lay the 3 points with the Chiefs. I know Jacksonville is the fashionable play, and a lot of pundits and a lot of experts like the Chiefs, like Jacksonville as well. But I'll tell you what, until the Chiefs prove otherwise, I would rather take them at home, lay the 3 points, and buy down the half point. It's the game, other than my best bet on the Rams in Seattle, it's the game I most want to watch as a fan today. So this is a game I'm just throwing out here. I've analyzed it, I've looked at it, and as a fan today, it's my favorite game to watch, other than my best bet. I like Kansas City, and I buy down the half point in this one. I like Baltimore minus the 3 points at Cleveland, and naturally I'm going to buy down the half point here on the Ravens anytime that line crosses 3, 4, 7, and sometimes 10. You know, the Ravens have not allowed more than 14 points, or have only allowed more than 14 points in one game this season. That was their opening road loss at Cincinnati. They've not allowed a touchdown in the second half of any game this season. Number 2 in total defense, number 2 in third down defense. Since 2008 under John Harbaugh, they're 15-5 straight up against rookie quarterbacks, including 7-0 when those quarterbacks have worn a Cleveland Browns uniform. Best passer rating against rookies in that span. Opposing rookie quarterbacks, only 59.6%. Passer rating, and 27 interceptions of those rookie quarterbacks in that stretch as well. 13 of those 20 quarterbacks they faced in that stretch have thrown for under 200 yards, and 9 of those quarterbacks have completed under 50% of those passes. And that defense gets back starting cornerback Jimmy Smith for the first time this season after serving that 4-game suspension. Look at what they did to the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger on Sunday night. Held them to 15 points and 169 yards under their season averages. Baltimore's won and covered 5 straight in the series. John Harbaugh, 18-2 straight up all time against Cleveland. Joe Flacco, 17-2 straight up all time against the Browns. And you know, Baltimore has played extremely well after the alleged physical games they've always played against the Steelers, going 4-1 against the spread the last 5 games after meeting Pittsburgh. Baker Mayfield played well against Oakland last week, but listen, 4 turnovers. 9 of his passes were dropped because Cleveland's receiving crew was not that good after Jarvis Landry. Flacco off to the best statistical start of his career, almost a 97% passer rating. He's really spreading the ball around to all those new receivers they went out and got him, Michael Crabtree and John Brown and Willie Snead. They've got 3 tight ends that have been giving them great contributions with Nick Boyle, Max Williams, and Mark Andrews have combined for 31 catches. So they've been able to get the ball all around. And it really comes down to this. The Browns are 1-2-1. Yes, they could be 4-0. But you got a Ravens team that's 3-point favorite against a Browns team that is still 2-33-1 straight up during Hugh Jackson's tenure. And that's why I'm willing to take Baltimore and go ahead and lay the 3 points in this one. Another game, you got Carolina, 6.5-point favorite at home against the New York Giants. What have the Giants shown me? Absolutely nothing. Carolina getting an early bye, a ridiculous early bye here in the season. They're fresh. They're 2-0 ATS at home this season. They added Eric Reed prior to their bye week, so their secondary is only going to get stronger. The Panthers have only allowed 12 conversions on 32 first down opportunities by their opponents so far. You've got New York offensive line that hasn't given Eli Manning any protection. He's been sacked 15 times. You've got a Giants team that's lost 16 of its last 20 games. You've got a Giants team that seems to be fracturing, as Odell Beckham Jr. Earlier this week said his team didn't have any heart. You've got Odell Beckham Jr. that's also criticized his Giants quarterback Eli Manning for the inability to throw the ball downfield. And listen, the fact is, this Giants team that only has 7 touchdowns in 4 games, Manning has not been throwing the ball downfield. 9 passes in 4 games have been completed for 20 yards or more, and only 6 of those 9 passes have actually been thrown downfield. The other ones have been drop-offs to Barkley or one of the other running backs. You've got Carolina on a 6-1 ATS roll at home. Again, at 6.5 points, if this game goes up to 7, I'm buying down the half point in this one. So of the 3 complementary plays, I like Baltimore, I like Carolina, and then, of course, the long shot would be Kansas City. That'll do it today. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this again. Good Monday night game on tap, too, with New Orleans and Washington. Good luck, everybody.